forward to it. I've really been glad to be open in Georgia and South Carolina because I was getting a little stir crazy, but looking forward to really getting things opened up all across the United States. So Mike, just if you don't mind, just give us an idea about, what and who Performance Coated Products is, and let us know a little bit more about it.
Right. Well, it started out as specifically coated products, taking products that we currently know and putting what we use, nickel boron, on them in order to get enhanced benefits. And one of the first things started with a bicycle chain. And one of the attributes of nickel boron is not having to lubricate it. So the chain doesn't pick up sand and dirt and carry it to your gears and things like that. So that's where it all started. And then we started to actually bring products together with the coating and then market those products. And it grew from that into a consulting element where we consult with manufacturers who want better products. And so they're looking for different coatings, which has pushed us to get outside of the envelope and look at all coatings and all performance coatings, and in order to push those kind of enhanced benefits for their application. Because if there was only one best coating, there'd only be one coating. So there's different coatings for different applications. It has a lubricity very close to Teflon. So it's hard and lubricious. We have some little washers that we usually carry around and we slide them against each other. And that's kind of our test. You can put it down in the sand and pull them out and the sand rolls off. And then you have metal on metal. If you oil them, which you'd think would make them more slippery, and then put them in sand, of course, the sand sticks to the oil and you have that grinding sound, and that's the problem with oiled components.
So what are the applications that you see, are some of the, I guess, the most obvious before, the next steps of, well, this would be a great solution, et cetera? Where is it able to be used mostly?
Well, to steal a line from one of the spray lubricant people, anything that sticks or slips, any sliding surfaces, any rotating surfaces, any metal against metal, we can put it on steel, stainless steel, aluminum, Inconel. So the type of material you're putting it on, we can find a pre-treatment to put it on almost anything.
Did you say aluminum?
Pardon?
Did you say aluminum?
Aluminum as well.
No kidding. That's interesting because, in our industry, some of the spindles we deal with are actually aluminum, and obviously, you can't hard chrome those. So that's an interesting application.
That's correct. And the other thing, it's electroless plating. So it plates all surfaces inside and out evenly, where chrome is electrolytic and you have to have anodes and cathodes. And if you have sharp edges, you have dog boning on the edges, and then you have to grind them back smooth. That's not the case for nickel boron. You put it on, you can pretty much polish it. You can grind it if you want to, but we can put it on plus or minus 1/10,000th. So we can usually plate it to dimension.
No, now see that you got my interest big time now, because obviously we do a lot of chrome and grind here. We do a green grind, breeze grind, whatever you want to call it, to prep the metal to adhere a hard chrome. And chrome platers frequently they put excessive amounts of chrome. If they don't put on enough, we can't bring it back to the original dimension, right? Especially on tapers, we're doing IDs, ODs. So to them, more is more. What to us, more is a lot more work. So if you're able to hold size now, Gretchen, you used the term game changer. Now I'm hearing a big time game changer, because if I have a taper that's undersized, let's say, I don't know, a couple thou. So I grind it down 5 thou, and then I want to build it up and have an additional 2-3 thou to bring it back to size, but they give me an extra 10-15 thou. My grinder's going to be there all day. You're telling me you can bring it back within a few tenths, and you can
Correct.
Give me a uniformal size for not only size but geometry?
Correct.
Wow, that's incredible. So, I mean, I don't want you to nail me here on pricing, but you said you said the nickel boron's more expensive than chrome, but it sounds like I'm not trying to give you a pitch here, Mike, but this sounds pretty damn good.
Well,
It
and
sounds
that's
like
what I
you
was
could
going to
save me a
bring
lot
up.
of time and money.
Yes, well, as I was going to bring that up, when you say price, when you look at all the component manufacturing you'd have to do to it, many times it's much cheaper.
Okay.
Depending on what you're doing and how much. The actual application of nickel boron versus the application of chrome, nickel boron is quite a bit more expensive, but it saves you many steps, or at least minimizes those steps in the future.
I know you guys are located in Florida, and I'm based out of Detroit, so I'm excited to know, when are you guys looking to be operational in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Fort Wayne will be up and running with nickel boron within 60 days, hopefully sooner. We have EN running and we have anodize already running. And of course, because of location, it fits really well. You can hit Chicago, you can hit Indianapolis, you can hit Detroit, you can even reach over to Cincinnati.
Yeah, excellent. I'm excited to check it out. So sometime the end of July, maybe mid-August, you guys are hoping to be operational. I look forward to stopping by and checking you guys out. And that's not that, I think that's about 3 hours from our shop. So if we have emergency work and you guys can do that type of precision, for ID and OD plating, I'm excited to put you into our repertoire, if you will, for another emergency repair. That's excellent.
Great. Well, here's a crazy thing that we do that nobody else really does. You say when you have emergencies, because the technology is growing, we'll actually put the technology in a facility. So when we work with OEMs, we do enough coding for them that they say, wow, this is really good. We love it. We'll help them set up a line. We'll put the line in, we'll put the tanks in, we'll get them the chemistry. You can actually buy the chemistry through us.
Wow.
And you can actually do the process right in your own facility.
See, that's something I'd be excited about. And I didn't want to even bring it up because I feel like I'm taking food off your plate. If you want to talk some numbers, what are we looking at as far as an investment or time? Can you throw some numbers my way?
Anywhere from 100 for your operation. I've seen the size, anywhere from 100 to probably 350,000 to put the line in and get it operational and ready to roll with chemistry and all.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Yeah. And I got to tell you, Mike, I know last time you saw us, we were in Livonia. We're a little over triple the size now here in Dearborn. So you got to, I know you're in town now. If you have time before we're not that far from the airport. We're about 7-8 miles. So if there's an opportunity, we can talk offline about that.
Awesome. Yeah. That we found and we started with is a bolt carrier group for an AR-15. Firearms right now is probably the biggest user of nickel boron because we don't want to lubricate. We want it to last longer, and we want the benefits of not wearing the inside of an aluminum upper in this case. So that's really where WMD started. WMD Guns, my two partners and I, we manufacture the only fully nickel boron coated AR-15. So all of the components, the aluminum, the uppers, the lowers, everything is coated with nickel boron. So again, when you look at the washer situation where nickel boron against nickel boron, when you have a bolt carrier group running inside of an aluminum upper, this will be Rockwell hardness about 70. On aluminum, it'll be about 66. You have those two components with no lubrication, so you don't have sand and dust and dirt sticking to it. So right now, firearms by far is the number one use of nickel boron. We find that when we go into engineering companies, most of the engineers shoot. So there's a very fast correlation for the technology that it's already been proven in something that they use day to day. We brought these components to Fort Bragg. One of our consultants that works with us is a 20-year Special Forces retired, and he got us into Fort Bragg, and we showed the guys what was going on. And they said, we helo in, we set down, helicopter leaves. The first thing we do is secure the area. The second thing we do is clean our guns. And we said, why do you clean your guns? If the rotor wash, the dust goes up inside the gun, and if we engage in an hour, our guns will jam up. And my partner picked up a handful of sand and dumped it in the gun. We put a magazine in, shot 2 magazines, opened it up, and there's no sand. And their jaws just dropped.
Wow.
Because the sand doesn't want to be there. It sticks to the oil. And so the story they told was, we like it because without oiling your gun, when you go through the water, if you go through the water with an oiled gun, you leave an oil trail. And that's how you find bad guys. So when we get involved in this, if you miss your deer, if you miss your buck or your hog, that's not a big deal. But when you're dealing with these guys, it's life or death. That gun has to go bang every time he pulls the trigger. And that's really where the WMD started, is we had a solution that makes our kids safer in the field. And we've been driving that nail since 2011 for sure, when WMD was formed, but we were driving it before that even. So we haven't got a lot of military conversion, but we have a lot of military people with these components in their guns.
So I would assume that it's not just, the fact that you guys are manufacturing your own gun, but also other gun manufacturers that don't have the technology would be possibly utilizing you as well?
We coat for a lot of OEMs, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we build guns.
I feel like it's a game changer for not only, of course, like you mentioned, the guns and the military, but so many other applications in other industries. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where you guys go with it and helping get the word out as much as possible. And is there anything else that you can think of that you want to kind of put out there that, would help right now with getting the word out?
Just anybody, that's looking for information, we'll have a special spot on our website for USA Loves Manufacturing people. And, we'll get a free download of just a basic overview of some of the coatings that are out there and what they're used for, their pros and cons. And so we'll be working on that in the background. I will say the one interesting component dealing with manufacturers, some of them I've guaranteed the part to last 3 to 5 times longer. And that's kind of like going into GE and saying, I have a light bulb that never burns out. So there's scheduled obsolescence out there. That's probably our biggest competitor right now. They don't understand how to price a component that's going to last 5 times longer. So if they would normally have sold 5 components in that time frame, how do they make up that difference? So we understand that, and we try to work with them with different coatings and different ways to make it happen. But we're, at the end of the day, we're customer centric. We want better products because I want better products. I want better products on my cars, on my motorcycles, on my snowmobiles. I want better products. I want them to wear less. I don't want to replace things as much. So we're very customer centric, and that's where WMD started, is making a better gun, making it more resistant to the weather, being able to get it wet and have different, oilless issues with it, and easier to clean because you don't have all that hot oil burning on the gun. So we're very customer centric.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's something that we can offer our military and they can utilize to keep them safer, then we definitely want to do that. So I think it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm definitely going to have information on both of my websites so we can, put it out there. And it sounds like Ted's got a lot of options there to utilize it too. So yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Right. Gretchen, I'm actually going to send you, I made up some special little washers. I don't know if you can see it. They say performance coated products on them.
Awesome.
And they're coated, and they have a code on them, USA.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll send them to you, and people can do that. They can see how slippery they are and how neat they are. And then if they go to the website, they'll be able to put in your code, and they'll get a special download of comparative information on different kinds of coatings.
Awesome. The USA Loves Manufacturing discount.
Nice.